Hey guys, welcome back to another Warhammer review. Today we're taking a look at the Orc Big Mek, a mega-sized figure from McFarlane Toys. On the back of the box we can see a large picture of the figure itself, and on the side another zoomed in picture with the name of the figure on the box. Just like all the other McFarlane figures, you can easily remove it from the package without having to rip anything apart. But you will have to tear open the plastic to get the standout. McFarlane releases a new race into the Warhammer collection with the Orcs. These green monsters have a burning passion for war, spreading across the galaxy to find an enemy to defeat. Orcs see themselves as the most powerful race and will fight and kill everything in their path to prove it. While most Orcs are savage, violent, and crude, a few are gifted with the ability to build weapons, armor, and vehicles. These mechanics are called Mek Boys, or often just mechs. The strongest and most skilled Mek Boys are known as Big Meks, who lead other groups of lesser Mek Boys armed with the most powerful weapons and gear they can create. This figure is of a Big Mek in Mega armor, equipped with a custom Scorcha, a custom Power Claw, and a custom Force Field back attachment. Let's take a look at the details. The face of the Orc is covered in a crude piece of armor, with details like a big red eye lens, bolts, and a sharp teeth-like edges. We can see the green skin underneath with other tiny bits of metal attached to the skin. We have more mechanical details on the side of the head, where we can spot more of the teeth in the lower jaw and the texture of the skin. Large plates of steel form a box around the chest, with the large red plate, with the white skull and crossing wrenches. The armor is crudely put together, with bolts in every corner, dents, and scratched paint effects. The back has a large socket area that we will be attaching more armor in later in the review. We get a good look at the neon skin tone here, with bright and dark spots on the leathery skin. Large tubes from the armor also wrap around the back to connect to the attachment later on in the review. The left shoulder has a large piece of metal armor wrapped around the muscles with large studs on them. We can see a lot of scratches in the paint along with more of that wrinkled skin underneath. A large piston is attached to the elbow here, supporting the arm. On the right shoulder we have a checkered white pattern here with a similar piston on the back supporting the arms. The left arm of the Orc is completely covered in a custom Power Claw. The large machinery is detailed with switches, dials, and tubes running in and out of the Power Claw. Painted with a scratched up steel effect, we can also notice the red and white highlights in the claw. The right arm is covered in a custom Scorcha, detailed with large tubing, an ammo magazine, and a copper colored lighter. It's detailed with lots of scratches, cracks, and pieces of tape holding the tubing together. Underneath the chest armor we have a small belt with a small teeth symbol and a large piece of armor covering the groin. The back of the belt has a larger piece of armor that connects to the thigh pistons. Small details like rivets and bolts can be seen here with more of that worn out metal paint effect. The front of the thighs have textured cloth with large stitches in the cloth and details like patches sewn in. The side of the thighs have large pistons connecting the armor to the legs. Large plates of metal support the body armor, while the hydraulics let the figure bend while walking. The knees and legs of the Orcs are completely covered in thick armor, with large plates covering the entire area. Lots of scratches, dents, and missing paint make the legs look worn out. We finished the detail of the figure with the large armored boots. The front of the foot has large claws with a decorative checkered pattern with a few details like large and small bolts and more scratches in the armor. Let's check out the articulation. We have a ball joint at the head, arms that rotate all around and open and close, elbows that bend inward, with the articulation being restricted by how far the pistons can go. The weapons of the figure can rotate, as well as the claw can rotate, a rotating waist, legs that bend forward, back, and open, with most of the articulation being hindered by this small piston part. The thighs can also rotate, with this small part blocking a bit of the rotation. Knees that bend back, with any rotation in the knee being stopped by the blocky armor. Ankles that rotate and bend up and down, with a toe that bends up. We get a large back attachment, the Kustom Force Field, in a steel, black, and copper paint. The back attachment snaps onto the back of the figure with a large peg. The attachment adds a bit of a height to the character as well. And we get the standard McFarlane stand with the Warhammer logo on it. As a mega figure, the Big Mek stands about 8 inches without the back attachment and about 10 inches with it. I've added some figures side to side for comparison. McFarlane continuing the Warhammer line with more races brings us more unique figures like the orcs. Lots of detail on the armor and weapons of the Big Mek, and the joints feel really solid and clicky. The figure does have a heavy weight to it and feels like you're getting a lot of plastic for your money. The Big Mek is a great start for the orc race, and more of a unique looking figures in the Warhammer series. The large box shape appearance of the armor, giant weapons, and size really restrict the articulation of the figure. While the joints are positioned well enough and have range for articulation, just the nature and design of the armor is going to restrict most of it. The pistons of the legs and the arms can be removed with a bit of carefulness, but the box-shaped armor is the main issue. As the stand being the only accessory, the main attraction of the figure is the size of it. While he does stand taller than most other figures in the series, I wish I would have gotten some weapon effects. The Big Mek is a good figure. The considerable size and detail of the figure definitely looks great and resembles the miniature figure very well. While the paint is a bit lacking on certain details, they use the paint where it makes the most impact and still makes the figure unique looking from all the other Warhammer figures. I can't really blame the lack of articulation on McFarlane when the design of the orc is a giant box of armor, but it still lacks and I wish they had a little bit more. I'm definitely looking forward to the other orcs to see how they compare to this mega figure, as the sculpting and likeness of the miniatures have been really well. You might want to wait until each orc mega figure is released and pick your favorite version, but if you're a hardcore collector or an orc fan, these figures look great, especially if you're planning on customizing them up. Alright guys, that's it for this review. More reviews are coming up soon, so check out my other videos while you wait.